The strongest paddle raisers start weeks and weeks and weeks before an event, not just when the auctioneer takes the microphone. Hey, I'm Danny De La Rosa. I'm a benefit auctioneer and Gala fundraising consultant. Now, this metric here, this number that we're going to dive into today is what I use with my clients to ensure we have unbelievably successful paddle raisers and that we feel really confident about them going into an event. Oftentimes I see organizations spending weeks focused on decor and AV and the perfect welcome drink and very little time on ensuring that our paddle raiser is going to have the momentum it needs to be super impactful and inspire a ton of giving. We often think we have everybody in the room. We're going to share a story with them that tugs on the heartstrings. We'll see what happens at that point. But these really successful paddle raisers are intentionally designed and engineered. Now, let me share a brief story with you that is going to help illustrate the point I'm trying to make here. Back in my 20s, one of my many jobs in experiential marketing was, being at festivals and events and working booths, handing out flyers, handing out samples, getting you to come take a survey and giving you a hat in exchange. I mean, you name it. I worked for so many different brands doing a ton of things like that. And there's this phenomenon that I witnessed, that I learned, that I tried to harness. And it was that, say for example, I was handing out flyers and I was stationary in a spot and there was people walking past me. Maybe we were at, some sort of big downtown 4th of July event, something like that. What I noticed was if I could get the first person in the group to take a flyer, the rest of the group would. Now, this isn't necessarily a group together. Like they didn't come to the event together, but they were just kind of walking in a similar pattern, a similar cadence. They were kind of grouped up, okay? So if I could get this first person to take a flyer, the whole rest of the group would take a flyer. However, the opposite was true as well. If I could not get them to take a flyer, the rest of the group would not take a flyer. So, we had a certain amount of flyers we had to give out before the end of the day. That was oftentimes how these, gigs work. And so then I realized that my only goal and mission is to get the first person to take a flyer because I know the rest of them will do it. And before I know it, I will be done with my pile. So that became my main focus, is how can I get this first person to agree to grab this flyer from me? Now, how this relates to Gala fundraising, and this is a lot like your paddle raiser. People follow people, and giving works the same way. These strong paddle raisers, they don't begin on stage. They begin far earlier during the planning process. So the idea we're getting to here is that for your paddle raiser, the way that you're going to get that first person to take a flyer is that you are going to pre-plant your audience with paddle raiser donors. Okay, pre-plant your audience. So a plant in your paddle raiser is somebody who's agreeing to raise their paddle for a certain amount of money, $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, you name it. That is a plant. Now, what my clients do is we take our paddle raiser goal, we take 50% of that, and that is our plant goal. So let's say our paddle raiser goal is $100,000. $50,000 becomes our plant goal. So the idea is that before the event, you have had conversations with your major donors, your longtime donors, your best supporters, and you have found $50,000 worth of plants. Maybe you found one at $20,000. Maybe you found one at $10,000. Then maybe you found two at $5,000. That would equal 50. Wait, does that equal 50? That equals 40. Two at $5,000 and then four at $2,500. You understand that it has to add up to the math. Now, this 50%, it's a target. If you can exceed it, that's better. If you try your best to meet it and you come just shy, that's still fine too. But the idea is what I've noticed in these rooms is that if we can get about 50% of our paddle raiser goal planted, we are going to reach the rest of the goal. These early commitments, they create the social proof that you need. They build the confidence, they normalize the giving, they remove uncertainty, they encourage participation. Essentially, when you are at an event and you see so many like-minded people raising their paddles for large amounts of money, you then want to follow suit, just like all of the people I was giving flyers to would take the flyers afterward if the first person took the flyer. So this momentum isn't luck. It's engineered at all of these successful galas that you've been to. So again, take your paddle raiser goal, 50% of it, that is your plant goal. The other thing I really like about this is it gives everybody on the team something to work toward. Now you're able to empower your board members to say, hey, if you all can get about $20,000 of these plants, we can get the other $30,000 from our list. Or you're able to then give your board members, here's a list of all donors from last year that gave above $1,000. Can you call them, personally invite them, and ask them if they're able to pre-commit to our paddle raiser this year? It just gives you so much to work with when you have this goal. And when you meet or exceed it, I promise you, well, I should say a little caveat, as long as you have a professional auctioneer, I promise you your paddle raiser is going to be so successful. To recap, this metric matters so much. This is your plant goal. It should be 50% of your paddle raiser goal. If everybody is on the same page and working towards that goal, the chances that you will have a successful paddle raiser are super high at that point. If this video has been helpful, check out our video about, nervous about your first time paddle raiser. Here's 3 things you would do. It's a super helpful video to help you out in planning and feeling confident about that first paddle raiser. We also have more coming in this series, so stay tuned for that. As always, we hope this is your most profitable gala yet.